Hey everyone, welcome to Pop XP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the Pop XP channel. Mr. Blevins!
What's up, Mr. Scala?
What's going on, brother man?
Not much. Super excited about tonight.
Super pumped. Super pumped. We got this guy hanging out tonight.
We got
the Dark Knight. Dude, I'm pumped. So this is crazy, and our guest tonight, fantastic guy, one of the nicest guys I've ever met in the industry. Just an amazing person all around. And I'm so happy to have him back on. He's working on a crazy awesome project. One that I was like intrigued when I first heard, because if anyone's familiar with the good old HBO Max, and you know about the Batman radio adventures,
audio
right?
adventures,
audio adventures, like old time radio show.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because it's a video of this old school radio, and then it changed to different scenes in the background. It's pretty, it's got a little bit of visuals to keep you stimulated.
I've listened to it at work, in the office, down in the studio. I've had it playing. I love it because I actually love old time radio shows. There's apps out there that you can
serials are next level, bro.
Oh, they're awesome. You can download apps on iOS, Android, Google Play Store, and they actually are just those recordings of just all those old time radio shows. But it's so cool. So tonight we're going to hang out. We're going to check out some character designs. We're going to talk story. What's going on. We're going to dive into it. So let's bring him in. We can't even wait.
Dude, I don't even want to wait anymore.
I don't want to talk to you anymore, Blevins. I don't even want to talk to you. I just want to talk to our guest. So without further ado, everyone, please welcome Anthony Marques to the show.
Anthony Marques.
Woo! I got my jazz hands going. We're good to go. Thanks, guys.
Hey,
thank you. I got to pop the collar. It's very New Jersey. It's wonderful to be here, though. Nile, thank you so much, Blevins. Always good to see you guys. Thank you as always.
Welcome, man. So happy to have you back. It's been a while since we've had you on. We usually have you on because you've got cool stuff going on. You had a Green Hornet book going on. I mean, one time you bought a school. So we're like, hey, let's have you on and we'll talk about that, and then you offered online courses and things and other things. Like, let's talk about that. That's a new realm, right? So, but today we
got a comic book shop in there.
You got a comic book shop, Mr. Dewey?
God, dude.
And an art store as well.
You're living the dream. Living the dream, bro.
I'm trying, man. I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun, but it's all because of, I tell the students this all the time. I'm like, do you realize that we're all getting to do the things that we love to do just because we followed our dreams? I mean, like, how incredible is that, right? Like,
yes.
I don't know. I get a big kick out of it every single day.
Sean Mendoza, Anthony Marques, I'm your biggest fan.
Sean really is my biggest fan.
Once I read that, I'm like, they know each other.
Sean's a good guy. Sean's a good guy. And he's a very talented artist as well.
Fantastic. But this is really cool because, we usually talk, we've talked about one book you've done. We've mainly been on talking about Kubert School stuff and whatnot. Sure. And a couple times I think you've came just to hang out and chat. But this is really exciting because to me, Green Hornet, actually, it's always here in the studio. Right on its little pedestal right here next to the screen.
Mine is over there.
And
I
am a Batman fanatic. I have been since it was Batman Shadow of the Bat, which got me into the comics, right?
Oh, that was a great one.
I've loved that series. I think to me, it's one of the best. And then, of course, you can't forget, especially with our generation. I mean, Batman the Animated Series, what Bruce Timm, Paul Dini did, oh my gosh, mind blown. Talk about Darwin Cook. I mean, he was doing a lot of character design stuff for that, especially when they revamped that series. Just absolutely unbelievable. But now you get to take the reins for a bit. You get to be the artist now.
Lucky.
It's pretty incredible. Like, it was funny the way I even found out about it was I got an email. I was driving home from work and I got this email and it said the subject line wasn't like Batman or, you always kind of imagine like, what is it going to be? And the subject line was from one of my editors. They're both really awesome people. One of the editors sends me it and it says in the subject line, interested in work. And I was like, is somebody asking me for work? Like, what am I reading right here? And I opened it up and it kind of gave down the information and didn't outright say Batman. It was just kind of like, hey, would you be interested in, maybe doing like some designs for this new thing? gave kind of the breakdown of who was involved. And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. And then I kind of got home and I reread it like 3 times because I was really excited to be doing something with DC, because it's always been a dream to be able to do something there as a pro. And I turned to my wife and I go, Jackie, I think this is a Batman project. And she's like, really? And I was like, yeah, I think this is something to do with Batman, which I think is really cool. So then we started going through the emails, we're going back and forth, and they told me that it was for Batman, the Audio Adventures, which was going to be a show that was going up on HBO Max. And they wanted me to do character designs for all of the characters. Yeah, so actually that one, those were later on. I wound up doing all of these like standalone shots just of the characters, just this way they could have an idea. Yeah, like that one right there. And that's
we're gonna
actually,
dive into those.
That's actually like the 3rd version of Batman that I did. He was actually supposed to have the yellow oval on his chest and have like a blue outfit and whatnot and be a little bit, same size ears, but just a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And I just started cranking those out with J-Bone, who is my partner that I've worked with on tons of stuff since about like 2015. And they wound up asking like, well, who do you want to color this stuff? And I was like, Dave Stewart. Is that okay? And I was so scared to even ask, and they were like, yeah, no problem. He said yes, and we're on board. And I was like, oh my goodness, they literally gave me everything that I wanted to be able to pull this off. And then it turned into, hey, we're also going to be doing a Batman Audio Adventures one-shot special, and that came out last October. Mm-hmm. And that had like myself, Emma Kubert, Leonardo Romero also doing some artwork in there. I mean, it was a really cool book, and I recommend folks, if you haven't seen it, go out and pick it up. Dave Johnson did the standard cover. I believe Francis Manpaul did the variant, and then there was the C variant, which was like that graphic radio image by a very talented artist as well, whose name's escaping me at the moment, so I'm really sorry about that. And then from there, all of a sudden they said, hey, look, we're going to be doing 7 issues. Are you on board to do it? And I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it's my Batman. It's my Gotham City, and working with Dennis McNicholas, the writer, and the whole creative team is just awesome. I promise you, it's awesome.
That's insane. Incredible. And I have to vouch for Nile. Nile is absolutely the 2nd biggest Batman fan that I know. Like, I mean, he's got it, But who's number 1? This guy.
Me.
Hey, it's not a contest, even though you're losing. This guy.
There's nothing wrong with that. Batman's a great character.
Anyways, I won, Anthony.
You kicked him right out of the room.
Yeah.
That's savage, man. You just get out.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
There you go. That's how it's done.
Yeah. But no, it really is like this is really incredible, because I mean, how
so amazing.
You're working on this. You're doing character design, right? And then you're now offered a new, like you did the one-shot book, which was a collaboration of artists.
Yeah.
But like now, though, this new series, is it 6 issues?
7 issues.
7 issues. Okay. 7 issues, and it's yours.
Yeah. Every page is myself, J-Bone, and Dave Stewart working like crazy to make it look awesome. And I have to tell you, it's a really good looking book, and it's one that I'm really, really proud of. Normally, I'm not one of those people that's like, yeah, I did a really great job. I try to keep that close to the vest, but no, I'm really proud of it. We're doing really great work. We're really bringing, our best efforts forth on it, and we really care about it. This is a really fun, adventurous, action-packed book that everybody can enjoy.
Of course, it's going to be better. I mean, when you're passionate about it, like books are always better when you know the source material. I mean, you have to admit that. You have, from today's standpoint, you have a lot of people that are writing books that never cared about the characters. Mm-hmm. You have people drawing it that don't even care at all about that kind of even genre of artwork. And then you got you like working on something that's already near and dear to you, and you get to make it your own. You're putting like all your passion, your love. I mean, like, dude, I can't wait, dude. I'm getting goosebumps, dude. I tell you, I'm
being honest when I tell you this, but it's not just me. I mean, really, it's from the editors to the writer to everybody involved in this book. For myself, from Dennis, and Dennis McNicholas is writing the book, and Dennis was one of the main writers for Saturday Night Live. And a lot of people think, oh, you got a comedy writer coming in. No. there's elements of humor that are in the story, like any good, adventure film or action film you're watching nowadays. You watch anything, you got to have some jokes to kind of alleviate the pressure, but it's done in a really organic way that makes sense. And he gets the characters, he understands the characters, and he does his homework on them. He loves the mythology of these characters, and he goes way back, and he's bringing stuff up and putting them into the story. And we're finding ways to make it fresh and new and exciting too. So that's why I'm saying, if you're a fan of Batman, this is going to be the book you're going to want to pick up, because it's got everything that you could want in it.
Yeah. Now, do me a quick favor, though. So for anyone out there that may not be familiar with this, right? Or maybe they were on HBO Max, like, oh, this is an audio thing, I'll get back to it, or what have you. What is the premise of this series? Who is Batman and what is he doing in this journey?
So in Batman the Audio Adventures, if you listen to the show, he winds up pretty much deciding that he's going to work with the police. He's going to help them out. He's going to not just be hiding in the shadows. He's going to be very out in front of things. And so he's teaming up, and he has to stop the Joker. The Joker has this basically this concoction that he has, and he's trying to set it loose upon everyone. And at the very end, it does get kind of leaked out. Not to spoil anything for HBO. Hope they don't mind. But what happens in the comic book series is now it's up to Batman, Robin, to stop all the villains that are involved. And the way that Dennis writes it is he's getting, Killer Croc involved. He has, the Joker's right there in the very beginning, and we've got every character you can think of. I don't want to spoil it, but just trust me when I tell you, every character is there. And it's tied together in a way where it doesn't feel like it's like they bring in like a guest villain every single week. Mm-hmm. This is like, the villains are extremely well established in this world. They're very present. So you're dealing with them all the time. And I think, in Solicits, it even makes mention of the Scarecrow, Killer Croc, everybody. So
battling, internal battle and all that
stuff.
So
I'm not trying to like leak too much, but just trust me, all of your favorites are going to be there. Yeah. So just try to pick up the book. I promise you're going to like it.
So awesome. Let's check out some of the, we popped up one. Let's look at the, obviously, right there, boom, HBO Max, Batman, the Audio Adventures. So awesome. But here's your Batman. This is the final design on Batman.
Yeah, that was the Batman design that we wound up putting together. Like I was saying, I like a shorter eared Batman in general. So somebody was really sweet, and they were like, you hit just the right height where it's not too short and it's not too high. And I really was happy with the way that worked
Blevins.
out.
It's all good.
I just want them to
Understood.
See. Yeah.
And man, I gotta tell you, when Jay does the inks on something, it's like Christmas every single time I open up my inbox and I see an email from him, because I just geek out. I'm so excited to see it. It looks great. Yeah, Robin, I gotta tell you,
such a great pose too.
Yeah,
well, Robin's just it's easy to draw Robin. He's really happy, and I love the idea that Robin is really just oblivious to how much danger he's in. He's just having a great time. He's just a kid.
He's special. He's special.
In this, he's about in my eyes, Robin's maybe like 13 years old. He's kind of coming to, becoming a young man. And he's just having the best time of his life being, the partner to Batman.
Yeah. Then we got Bruce.
So Bruce Wayne, I wanted him to be a little, I'm trying to think of a word that I don't want to use the word that I refer to him as, because it's not a nice word, but he's just kind of, a stick in the mud. He's not a really good guy, like his public persona when he's going out there. So that's why he has, like, if you were able to zoom in on that, he's got those little, like, sort of collar bars that go across, and it's like,
yes,
we all know those guys. Nobody wants to hang out with that guy. And so that's what I was trying to get across for Bruce.
Yeah, that's a perfect picture of him with all of his friends.
Commissioner Gordon, I thought that he should be a little bit seasoned at this point. He's kind of been at the job. He's seen his stuff. He's been in it. And so he's gained a little bit of weight, but he's still got those, like, Mason forearms. So he could totally, like, take a dude out and, pick back up his coffee and have a good afternoon.
Nice. Are you drinking out of a Superman glass?
Yes. This is one of my favorite glasses.
Fantastic. I really thought there was a theme to this show, Anthony. There was a theme.
This is the big secret that I do love Superman the most out of all the characters, though. So
all my Batman stuff's in my studio. Sad times.
Well, it's funny, man, because Alfred. I just have to say this really quick though. So at the school, I have my own studio. It's my own space that's set up, but we've made it into the Bat Cave. So
nice.
like while I'm working on it, there's tons of Batman stuff in there, and it's just this way I'm constantly like in like a Batman mindset and checking out some iconic imagery and kind of getting set up in the mindset of how I want the characters to be acting and moving around. So
you have a giant penny.
I do have a giant dinosaur in my office.
I was gonna say he's got the T-Rex statue.
I have a giant dinosaur in the corner. Yeah,
that's pretty solid.
And Alfred, look, and I looked up this image of a butler. I looked up Google image of butler, and I found one of like a cardboard cutout, and it's that pose. And I drew that out, and it's very Charlie Chaplin-esque. I thought he should move around and that face just came to me. Like that's Alfred to me in my head. So
like it's like he wants to get me something to drink, but he doesn't want to get me something to drink.
He's very like disappointed in your choice of drink.
Yeah, he's like, I'll get it, but I'm not happy.
He's like, really, a Dr. Pepper?
Who drinks Shirley Temples still?
It's 2 a.m.
You really need 2 cherries, Blevins?
Then with Vicky Vale. We love the 80s uniform for Vicky Vale. And so we wanted her to have really large shoulder pads. We wanted her to have that sort of a turtleneck and the cool pants. So a lot of that was Jay. He worked that up really well.
Let's just, before we jump into some villain designs here, Stippling Vaughn, let's address the important issue, the end of an era, Mike Chen's retirement.
Yeah, so Mike Chen is actually the faculty development specialist at the school now. So he hasn't really left the school. He's still working there. So that's really exciting. I'm happy that Mike's still a part of the school and to have him there. And he's also teaching as well this year too. So that's really cool.
Nice. I didn't think he was going anywhere.
No.
Good old Joker.
Good old Joker.
Good old Joker.
The Joker. So the reason why he's got that haircut and those shoulder pads was we also tried to keep in elements of like Batman on each character. Mm-hmm. So we wanted them to have like weird sort of silhouettes that would be very similar to like Batman, kind of spiky. And also, if you look at the old Superpowers cartoons, whenever the Joker would show up, he was creepy tall, like really tall. And he had that hair and like those weird sort of arms. Like they looked like they were basically like push pinned in. So this way the arms could move around. Mm-hmm. And so that's how we got to this sort of design. And they wanted him to be more in like a gangster sort of a costume they had brought up. Mm-hmm. I was going to give him like the long, I forget what that, like the tails.
Oh, like the penguin tails there. Yeah.
But that's, and I wanted to give a little bit of Nicholson in the face. So that's what I tried to get in there.
Nice.
Love it. And one of my favorites.
Two-Face was cool, man. But it was funny when I was doing his hair, especially for the Two-Face version, I wanted it to be like, I thought of Max Schreck, the character that Christopher Walken plays in Batman Returns. And I just kind of imagined what would he have looked like after, Catwoman, cooks him up. And
spoiler alert.
And so that's since 1992, 30 years later.
89, yeah. 89 was the first one, 92 was the second one.
Yeah. So that's where I got that. But the part that I'm really happiest with that design was actually that flipping coin. That was fun to come up with.
Nice.
Yeah, I like the tie too. I like how the symmetry. The symmetry is definitely there, and you did a great job with the colors.
Riddler was really fun. That was cool to put him in the classic Riddler uniform. We actually wound up going with, I think he wound up getting a gangster suit as well. Mm-hmm. So I think we're okay.
Man, he's got a big old ejacular chin.
Well, that's what's fun, man. Like you got to figure out.
Watch your mouth, sir.
I said ejacular.
And I gotta send you. This was actually the second version of the Penguin.
I like this version.
We actually had him slightly bigger, and I mean, this is like very subtle changes that we wound up doing to the character. It was a little bit heavier, and the original version we had him like with this really cute little smile, like he was really happy, and they wanted him to be a little bit rougher, so we made him a little bit harder in the face and gave him a little bit of the scowl and the pointy teeth kind of coming up. But I still think that this is a really beautiful design.
Was the purple your choice as well?
The what?
The purple?
Dave actually put that in there. I thought it was brilliant. It has that classic superpowers action figure look. So
yeah, that's what I was asking.
Was great.
See Todd McFarlane, McFarlane Toys bringing back some superpowers figures.
Oh, those are awesome.
Blevins making odd innuendos.
Oh my god!
I noticed, TJ. I noticed. Unbelievable. Catwoman.
Oh, Catwoman was a lot of fun. Dennis really wanted it to be the classic sort of Silver Age Catwoman. And so I got to play around with that a little bit. And I don't know if it had been done yet, but I created a little Catwoman logo on her belt buckle because I thought that she should have like a symbol. Originally, when I was designing her before this, I was trying to figure out different ways to incorporate like a Catwoman symbol into the costume. And there was going to be like her neckline, on her costume was going to have it. Like originally she didn't have the cape and the sort of like the slit in the dress. It was going to be a little bit different, more like just a onesie outfit with a little bit more space kind of put in there. But I wanted to keep that symbol, so I threw that into the belt.
Yeah, I like that touch.
Yeah, I like the belt.
I noticed that right away when I was looking through these. Incredible.
Oh, Miss Tuesday. So Miss Tuesday is like she's training to basically be a supervillain. But nobody is really alarmed by it. But she goes and like she visits the Riddler, and she's learning all these different things from him, and she's really cool.
Yeah, Dave Bratton likes that.
So Dave Bratton's also fantastic. He's a great guy too, and I appreciate that. So even if you go back to that Joker and you look really close, he has like one button that holds his jacket closed. If you were to zoom in on that, it's actually got a smiley face on it. And then even like, I believe his cufflinks have little smileys, if I remember correctly. But I know for sure that there's a smiley face on that button.
StreamYard won't let me zoom. Hear that, StreamYard? We need a zoom feature.
That would be incredible.
Lock it in. Lock it in, everybody.
All right, then here's those sample pages from the one shot that you sent. I mean, just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
This is just to kind of give you like an idea of like, we can't show anything from the new series yet. They haven't released any of the pages yet.
Which is this?
Except for the cover. Yeah, that's
good.
the regular cover by Dave Johnson. Dave Johnson is he's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a boss.
So good. That's my C variant. So that's cool as well. Those are all the floating heads that I wound up doing. And they were supposed to use something like this actually on HBO Max. And then they wound up not using it. And they did that one that you saw before that you posted where it was just the two of them swinging in. Yeah, that one. And what was interesting about this was Batman, Robin, all the different heads, they're all drawn on different different pages. I still work traditionally. So everything's drawn traditionally on different pages. Like that Batman's actually a double page spread sized Batman. Robin is a complete 11 by 17 full page Robin. And then each of the villain heads were drawn on individual sheets of Bristol as well. And so what they did was they did it that way because depending on what format you're watching the show on, meaning whether you're watching it on your laptop, your cell phone, your television, it needs to be able to move around to be formatted correctly to whatever screen that you're looking at on. So it all had to be drawn on separate layers. So when they did the comic book, I didn't even know I was doing a cover until all of a sudden they were like, Steve variant by Anthony Marques and Dave Stewart. And I was like, I was doing a cover? And then I saw what it was, and I was like, oh, that's fantastic that they're using it like that.
That's awesome.
Oh, and Mike Allred.
God,
holy moly. That dude's such an inspiration for me as well. And it's just like to have him doing the covers for this series too is just like that's awesome. And he wound up
did a jam up job with 66,
Oh
yeah.
Allred's just awesome in general. He's doing a really great Superman book right now too. And he's a huge inspiration for me.
I think I met him in Boston a few years ago. Boston Comic Con.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Oh, no.
I forgot to throw this page up because this is really
okay.
cool.
That was another fun thing. I got to design a Batmobile.
So cool.
And drawing cars is a nightmare sometimes, so I made it like a triangle, so this way I could just move it around. And then I wound up buying a bunch of like what are those, like Hot Wheels? So then this way I could kind of move them around and use them for inspiration, but instead it's usually just my son Liam and I and my daughter Ava. We're just playing around with Hot Wheels cars and throwing them around at each other. So
use them for like reference angles and stuff.
Yeah, reference. I'm like, these are all for reference, right? As like throwing.
And your wife's like, is that 3 foot tall Hot Wheels playset really for reference? Like, yeah, I need to capture how speed moves, honey.
I need to know. I need to know.
That's so cool, man. I mean, this is I'm really excited to actually get an issue, in hand. Now there is a cutoff now, right? Because you can request this from your local comic shops, but the cutoff's approaching, isn't it?
Yeah, September 4th is FOC date, man. That's it. So, I'm trying to get out there to tell folks, order this book, order it. I want to keep drawing Batman. But no, it's something that I believe in this book. I think it's worth you taking the time to go out to your local comic shop, picking it up, and going in there and just tell them, hey, look, order this book for me. I want to read at least issue 1, because I know after you read issue 1, you're going to be hooked and you're going to want to read issue 2. And then after issue 2, you're going to want to read issue 3 and so forth and so on. Absolutely. It's a really great book.
Yeah, and if you have to say or else, like obviously, any little bit of motivation to get them to carry the book.
Yeah, or else.
Order this or else. Or else what? Don't find
Now,
out.
TJ asked a good question. Are you going to be heading to Baltimore Comic-Con this year?
I am not heading to Baltimore Comic-Con this year. I have had an absolutely wild convention travel.
You just got back from Canada, right?
Going on. Yeah, I literally got back from Toronto last night. Yeah. And today was orientation at the Kubert School today for our students for second and third year, so I jumped right into that. But since May, I don't think that I have been home like longer than 2 weeks at any given point. I think, and that was just recently. I mean, this month alone, I've been from Florida to Chicago to Boston to Toronto. And that's, me driving around everywhere too. So it was nuts.
That's crazy. Matthew.
Matt Bino.
I know. Hey, Mr. Marques, can you get me a free one for your pal, Matt?
No, Matt Bino, I cannot.
Burn. Oh, shoot.
Nah, Matt's he's a great student as well at the school. I'm glad to see him in here. I appreciate him.
If you guys want extra credit, make sure to subscribe to the podcast.
Like,
any students
can I get one of these for free? And you're like, buy no.
No, for Bino, I would hook him up. He's a good guy.
Nice. So where do you want to go from this? Because I know right now we can't show too much of this book yet, because we can really, all you can show is what DC's releasing, right?
Yes.
And actually I have a question, right? Sure. Since this was basically an HBO Max feature, were you dealing with, obviously DC is a publication, and then HBO Max is producing television and streaming. Were you dealing with like execs or anything from both sides of it, or was this strictly like a DC driven project?
This has been, honestly, like no joke, probably the best project that I've ever worked on in anything. I'm going through editorial all the way up to, just in general, as far as art and editorial goes, hands down the best project. There's no interference, and there's not like interference. That's not a fair word. It's just nobody is coming in and being like, hey, do this or that. I mean, it's really like everybody just wants to make this book look good. We just want it to be cool and fun, energetic, exciting, adventurous, all those great words. And, if we need to make a change, I'm able to make a change and move stuff around. And look, man, this is just a fun book that we're all having a great time working on. And there's nobody really stopping us from doing what we're doing. And the story that Dennis has written and the artwork that myself, Jay, and Dave are doing, it's perfect. This book was meant to be done. So just check it out.
Incredible,
awesome.
man. So where do you want to go from here? If you're getting this amazing opportunity to work on Batman. I mean, this could be so successful they could say, "Hey, let's do another story arc. Let's go with this." Or where would you like to go from here if this turns out to be as successful as everyone hopes?
Well, I think after you do Batman, there's really only one way to go, and that's up and away. So,
that's why he's drinking from the
nice.
That's honestly like after, for real. I think after you do Batman, I think you got to do Superman.
Get your hands on some Superman.
Yeah, I think that's what I really, really want. So actually, I know that's what I really, really want. I think, but what happens after that though is you can only do Superman and Batman for forever. I don't think you can do Superman, Batman, and then be like, put me on like, some other character. It's only Superman, Batman.
Yeah, after Batman.
Yeah, you don't want Flash is dumb. No one would want to do Flash.
I'm a Superman, but it has to be like that level. Like Flash is cool. Like I would love to do a Wonder Woman story.
That'd be cool.
Wonder Woman.
About like a Justice League. Here, while we're talking about this, Dave happened to ask, other than Batman and Superman, what character or team would you love to draw?
So definitely you got your Trinity up there at the top: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. I think those guys are great. All that crew. Justice League is really fun. Mm-hmm. I would love to check that out. But then Captain America over at Marvel. I'm a big Captain America fan. I think he's really cool. Nice. I would have a really great time doing that. Say what?
So I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
I was about to ask. Like, I was like, are you a diehard DC or?
Oh, I love DC, but I also there's certain characters that I just like. I like the visual look. I think Captain America's got a great look to him. Spider-Man, I feel like would be so difficult to do. Even just drawing sketches of him, it's really hard. But how can you not want to do Spider-Man?
Yeah,
like
so those kind of that list.
Yeah, in my eyes, like when I see stuff like that, it's like granted, we've had a lot of greats that have done a lot of books, right? But like for my time period, being involved with comics, like when it comes to Spider-Man, like I don't see anybody above JR and John and Ramos. Like I think they're the top of Spider-Man. It's like I'd hate to come in after them and fill those shoes, but I don't know if there's been like a quintessential. Like obviously, I love Norm Brayfogle when he did Batman. He was amazing. Of course,
there's so many
we talked about, but
there's so many different styles though, Blevin. Because so many different artists have taken the mantle.
There's so many opportunities for you to go in and make it your own. But I don't think that opportunity is there for certain characters like Spider-Man, in my opinion.
I just think that I think people kind of have this idea for Spider-Man and what he is supposed to look like. And yes, I'm not talking about changing the costumes around or whatnot, but I think that he also lends himself in a way for really wonderful exaggeration that would work very well in the style that myself, Jay, and a bunch of other artists do. And I think that we could really pull that off. It would be difficult, but it would be, and I'm just talking about because then you can really start playing around with this perspective and the shots.
Well, do you think the exaggeration only comes because of what Todd McFarlane brought to Spider-Man?
I think that is a big influence.
Yeah.
It's not even so much just the different artists, because I'm not trying to think too much about how like another artist would approach it. Mm-hmm. I'm coming at it from a storytelling standpoint of like whenever I draw, it's not so much about we all want to do cool shots because then you have some really great pages that like you can move. But at the same time, you don't approach your pages in that way because then that's going to affect the way that you're telling the story with your art. And the thing that I learned when I was a student at the school from like Joe and Adam and Andy is that the story is the most important thing. Even if you look at Adam and Andy's artwork, they're brilliant artists.
Oh yeah.
And they're incredibly dynamic, but it's always in service of the story. And I think that that's what's really incredible about them and what we learned as students at the school, and that's what we continue to teach. And so everybody that goes to school, and just kind of going back to myself, if I was to approach something with Spider-Man, it always comes down to story first and why we're doing it. But I just think that exaggeration of the sort of this, the stretch in the body, the squash stretch that you have in animation that you learn even, would really lend itself really well to the character.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. And I think, it's funny because, we were just kind of talking about stylization and everything. And there are so many different artists that have taken on the mantle for some of these characters, right? In doing their styles. And I do agree with what you say, Blevins. Like Spider-Man, though, I think, like Todd McFarlane, if you're talking style, he added that kind of, because I mean, spiders, it's what he was going for. Spiders are flexible creatures. Spider-Man was a little more stiff prior to that, right? But then after that, everyone started doing the crazy poses with Spider-Man. And then you look at Neil Adams. Neil Adams kind of, for me, is kind of a I can't even talk. You know what I'm going to say. But anyway, quintessential Batman. I'm tired. My kids are back at school now. Schedule's all screwed up. But, to me, he actually made Batman human in an intimidating Batman. Like, I remember seeing his work. It's like, oh my God, like Batman's actually kind of kick ass, because he was really a little more goofy, not goofy, but a little more cartoony. It was, he actually started, he had definition to like his cheekbones, and like he was a man, a muscular man that was freaking fighting crime. He was the Dark Knight. And then from there, I felt like it only got better and better. And then, for me, I have to say, Greg Capullo. I love his Batman. I love his artwork.
Capullo's Batman's awesome.
It's fantastic. But you kind of see that influence. Like Neil Adams, for me, it was kind of like he changed the game, and everyone from there has taken little bits and pieces of that. And same with Bruce Timm, though, right? With Batman the Animated Series, then that went and took that. He was able to take that cartoon and give you the same feeling you had when you saw Neil Adams' work, and then the evolution of that getting even more serious and more defined and just intimidating, and the Dark Knight. It's just an incredible evolution, and Darwin Cook, brought that like modern comic with almost that 50s style modern animation look, right? But brought that into that Bruce Timm style world, which he was a part of creating and designing. But he was able to capture that and still do the same thing, keep a very powerful and dynamic characters. Where am I going with this? That's the gift you have, is what you're doing with these characters. When you look at these, when you look at what you're putting together a very stylized look that fits the model of this. And it ties it together. It's like a true, it's harmony, man. It's incredible. And Batman looks intimidating to me, and he matches the time period.
The way I view Batman, Batman's insane. I hope we all realize this, but Batman he's not, he really does need help.
He's eccentric. He's eccentric.
I just imagine that
he's eccentric.
He's so intent in destroying evil. Like there's a page in one of the issues where I have him driving, but he just looks like he's yelling the entire time that he's driving. Not like, but it's not overdone to the point that it's like too far. It's just like it's this like real rage that he can't, even though the Batmobile has a jet attached to the back of it, and it is literally launching him like a missile through a city. It's still not going fast enough for him to get out there and stop a crime from happening, from somebody else losing their parents. He can never go fast enough to stop everything. And it's just like he's pushing himself to the max. He's redlining as a human being 24/7. You know what I mean? So that's my way of thinking of how does Batman really approach this stuff, and he's redlining every day.
And Batman is so imprinted into like our culture. I mean, then again, he's the quintessential character for DC. I mean, that is their guy. That is everything they produce is Batman. That is their bread and butter. But like he's
quintessential again.
I just wanted to get it out there, which I almost couldn't do again. I was like, geez Louise.
It's the quintessential word that you can't use.
Quintessential word that will not come out of my mouth. My brain's moving faster than my mouth. But it I don't know what I'm saying. You just screwed me up, Blevins. No, I just totally forgot my thought.
Sorry.
Of what I was saying.
Quintessential derailer.
Yeah, you just totally derailed me.
I have this sort of a thing, just talking about when you're saying like Bruce Timm and Neil Adams and whatnot. It's fascinating to me. I remember there was a conversation we had when I was a student, and we were talking about Watchmen and when it first came out, and how if you were there when it first came out, it can't compare to somebody in present day reading it for the first time and really understanding like the impact that it has. Like there wasn't something like that when Batman The Dark Knight Returns came out. There isn't that same sort of impact around. We're all kind of reading stories that have tried to emulate that throughout the years. You know what I mean? And pick it up. So it's like there's things that happen, throughout time that you can kind of like, oh yeah, and then this was like a big trendsetter. So like what you were saying with like, the animated series and this and that. But I think the only way you get that is just by being yourself and doing the best work that you really enjoy and putting it out there. And then, let it happen organically. Because if you start chasing after any of the trends, I talk about it as like a train. If that train leaves and that's the trend, it already left. You can't get on that train. You can only chase it. And if you're chasing it, that's dangerous because you're chasing after something that's already out there. There's no point to it. So the best thing that you can do is just create something yourself and keep pushing it out there and get it going. Be who you are. Tell the story the way that you want to do it. Make it as impactful as you can. Even style wise. Even like, for example, I have a style that's similar to other artists, but mine is the way that I do it. I'm going to try to push it to the max to make mine as impactful as possible. Make sure that the storytelling is strong as possible, in hopes that the reader, when they pick it up, leave that story when they put it back down, just being like, "Whoa, that was awesome." So I hope that that's what they get when they pick up issue 1 on September 27th.
Fantastic. I'm going to definitely, I already got it on my pull. I already told my boy Richie's Comic Cabana. If anybody's in the Connecticut area.
I had to find a place to get mine because my local comic book shop is not around anymore.
I'll ship you one.
Get you one.
I'll get one out there.
I'll buy it. Like that way, I don't want you to feel like you have to give me something for free. But I mean, I'm serious. I'll pay for it.
I love the sincerity. I'm like, I'll just.
Well, yeah, you have a comic book shop.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll have one sent out to you. Don't worry.
Dude, that's awesome.
Good. Just make sure you remind me as we're getting closer to it. I'll make sure I get you one.
Dude, that'd be awesome. I'm a huge Batman fan as well. Like way bigger than Nile. The Nile is.
Kick him backstage again.
I know.
It's all right.
Sorry, Blevins.
No.
You're in my house. No. No, we are, man. We talk about Batman quite a bit. But it's again, man, congratulations on this.
Oh, thank you.
It looks amazing. I'm very excited to see issue number 1 when it comes out. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to bring it up on the show again. We're going to go through that book.
And I want to say I'm excited as well. But man, like I'm even more excited for you, bro. I mean, really, like, this is absolutely incredible. Like, me saying like, hey, I know this guy is, I think that's pretty awesome from a personal standpoint. But man, I'm just so happy that you're getting this opportunity. Your hard work is paying off. Again, I love it when people get rewarded for doing incredible things, and man, you deserve every bit of it. And I really am extremely happy for you.
I really appreciate that. And like I tell the students too all the time, you just have to keep on pushing always. I've been really blessed 100%. Like, I mean, from the day that I graduated, I started working, doing Spider-Man coloring books for Mata Design in New York. That was my first gig, and then just worked my way through it. I was able to be an assistant editor at DC Comics. That was really incredible. I made so many great friends through that and so many connections in the industry. That was wild. Then all of a sudden finding myself leaving there because they were going to California. My wife's pregnant at the time and we're like, holy moly, what are we going to do? And then I started teaching at the school, and then Dynamite, asked me to come on in for an interview, and I wound up becoming an editor there, and I was doing tons of work for them. And, I was already doing stuff at IDW. I think I started doing like Back to the Future. I had been doing a lot of that, and I started doing Ghostbusters and things. And, all the stuff that I've always loved in my life. Ghostbusters is my all-time favorite, movie growing up as a kid. That was my thing. And then all of a sudden be doing Back to the Future. And then at Dynamite, I was doing like every book. I was working on all these different covers and editing them at the same time. And then all of a sudden be doing Green Hornet, and doing our own version of how we wanted to do it. I love that show. And then all of a sudden Batman, I'm like, it doesn't get better than that. And in the school, and I mean, truly, like it's an incredible thing that I am extremely thankful for. And I have to say that, because if I didn't, I'd be a real monster, So I appreciate it every single day, and that's why I work like Batman feels about crime,
Yeah.
Dude,
that's cool, man. Well, congratulations again. We're looking forward to the book. We're looking forward to hearing all the good things that keep happening over at the Kubert School. I'm gonna come back down. We have to hang out, grab lunch or something, and dude, just keep on rocking it and keep me in the loop on everything that you guys are doing. I love to continue help promoting what the school's doing, what you're doing. It's just, again, you're good people. What you're doing is great. And dude, I'm excited. The Batman fan in me is just looking forward to it, especially after listening to, the HBO Max series. Like, I want to see this now. I want to hold it. I want to look at it. I want to admire the art, And I have to say, with all the negativity and like fandom, right? And everything that's going on, there's always a negative article for this, a negative article for that. At the end of the day, I'd like to see DC succeed with things. I'd like to see all that stuff, movies and everything work great. That's my childhood, like DC was huge for me growing up. All thanks again to pretty much probably Bruce Timm that kind of curved me from Marvel over to DC. But I do, at the end of the day, want them to succeed.
Of course.
And I like that I heard you say about the process, like, no one really interrupted. They just wanted a good book, and it sounds like they just let you guys run with what you do best.
Yep.
And I loved hearing that.
Because that's what the fans want. The fans just want a good book.
That's all anybody wants.
Just want a good book.
Remember this. Whenever you're getting down or you're feeling like, man, what are they doing? Just know they're not setting out to do something bad. Nobody wants to do a book that's going to fail. They all want you to be like, man, that was a good book. I really enjoyed it. But it's like anything, not everything's going to hit, it's just the way it is. And you're going to have misses, but that's okay. You learn from that and you go back and you do an even better job next time. And that's just the way you got to be. And that's how you got to do this job too. Not every page is going to be perfect. But you know what? You learn from every single page that you do, and you get on to the next one, and you do an even better job there. You just keep getting better. And that's what it's all about.
Oh, you popped in right in the last minute, bro.
Literally the last minute.
It just ended. Sorry.
No worries.
Did you
win?
win?
What's going on?
Did you win?
I lost. I lost.
God.
No.
I had a Kiss. I hate the band Kiss, so I got one.
Dude, I don't know how you missed that question. It was the easiest question in the world.
Do you know what the question was?
Yeah, I know what the question was.
The easiest question in the world was who sang Beth? And that's Peter Criss. Who's the four original members? I know that.
Ace
Frehley.
It
was what album was some fucking stupid song on that? Was
Detroit Rock City.
No, what album is it on?
It's on the Detroit Rock City album.
No, it was not. It was on the Kiss. It was on the Kiss. It
was on Kiss Greatest Hits.
What is it? It was like one. Hang on, Kiss album. I'll tell you the album.
Googling it.
He's Googling it right now.
Yeah, because I'm going to find out what the album is called.
Blevins is racing you in the Google
Rock
search
and
right
Roll Over. That was the album. It was a song on Rock and Roll Over. So the songs were, and I'm like, I didn't even heard of this song.
You're wrong. It was on the Detroit. It was on the Detroit.
No, it was on Rock and Roll Over. So you got it wrong too. The easiest question in the world. It was Hard Luck Woman. What album was Hard Luck Woman on? And it was a daily double, so I couldn't go to the chat. I've never gone to the chat on our professionals. Any of the questions. We have a lifeline to go to the chat. I've never gone to the chat, not even once. But with a daily double, you can't. So I got that wrong, and then it was to put these albums in order. So
It stressed him out so much he actually has a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
this is from Thursday before I went to go see Duran Duran. I haven't shaved since Thursday. So okay, so it's Led Zeppelin 3, Steely Dan's.
What is going on right now?
Dude, I have no
Steely
idea.
Dan's Can't Buy a Thrill or Who's Next? What was the order of those albums? So you get a chance to pick up to fit. Now I don't know what the hell it was, but I did 15 points, so I lost it all.
I would have just said that they were in the order correctly already and just hoped for the best.
Oh,
No, that wasn't it. It was Zeppelin 3 first, then it was
He's like,
Who's
nope.
Next, and
Nope.
then it was
No, you're wrong.
Well, that's why I knew I was going to be wrong, but I was like, that's one of those questions I wouldn't even know the answer, so I would just give a ridiculous answer back. I just like, oh, they're already in the right
had
order.
it in wrong. Yeah, maybe he might have put it. That's something to think about. So Aaron Lepresti might do either two ways. Either it goes backwards to up, right?
He's setting you up for
first
failure
in order, or not one of those ones he gives you is in the right order. So that's very easy.
Or he goes 1, 3, 2, 4.
Oh,
That's a big comment. 1, 3, 2, 4.
There's too much coding going on right now.
1, 3, 2. Next time you do it, just have your phone on you. I'm gonna watch and I'm gonna send you all the answers.
Oh
and
shit!
then now you can run a
I'd be like,
what?
perfect game.
Blevins, I'd be
I'm
like,
not
let me
ashamed.
think. I'm like, let me think. I'd be like,
No, you just have him like in an earpiece.
Yeah,
Just
like I'm on the phone.
What
with
could
you.
that answer
I'm
be?
like, it's this, and this, Billy.
you know what
You're
I
like,
should
well,
do?
I
I
guess
should
it's
wear
gonna be
like
this,
the
this, and this,
old-fashioned
Billy.
earbuds, the ones with the
Yeah.
big wire. Like I'm not listening. I don't have no one's talking to me.
Like Blevins isn't on the phone with me right
Blevins
now.
is
They're
on
like,
the phone.
nobody
I got
said
Blevins. Hang on.
Blevins.
Don't want Billy. They'd be like, hey, he'd be like, yeah. I'm just kidding. Don't worry. They'd be like,
No, I rocked
hey,
it, man.
he'd be like this. He'd be like this. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Blevins. Hang on.
Me and
The
Glenn
answer
were
is
fine.
the Beatles.
So I'm sorry, Anthony, and that I'm late.
No
So-
need to say sorry.
We're just talking about his book, but we're
Talking
now at the end
Batman.
of the show.
It's all
Talking
right.
about
It was
his
great.
epic
I had a
beard,
great
dude.
time. It's
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just
got
happy
an
to see
epic
Billy
beard.
right now.
Hey, Anthony, what shows you going to?
Oh my goodness. Let me see. Next up I've got coming up is Cincinnati Comic Expo. I believe that's September 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm headed out to New York Comic Con and then finishing up the season with Motor City Comic Con.
Oh, no Baltimore?
No Baltimore this year. I'm pretty tired, man. I was just saying to the guys before, I haven't stopped really since May. I've been to Burbank, oh my goodness, Florida multiple times, all over the place, man. Chicago, Florida. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? How are you, sir? Good to see you, man. Just got back from Toronto, went back all over the place. So literally I haven't been home longer than 2 weeks at any one point. Usually it's been like every single week. At one point I was in Florida for like a month and a half.
Whoa.
We did an intensive. The Kubert School was teaching down in Florida. And that was really incredible. We had myself, Lee Weeks, Klaus Jansen, and Joe Prado. We were all down there teaching. And
Where
that
were
was-
you
Klaus
teaching?
Jansen too?
Yeah,
Jesus, man.
that was a
So we were
really
across from Klaus, weren't we? At
Klaus,
man.
yes, yeah. We're across
Yeah,
from
Klaus Johnson.
Klaus is
yeah.
awesome, man. I love that guy.
artist, yeah.
He's awesome.
He's a legend.
He
I
is.
almost owned a piece of his artwork, but it ended up going for $300,000.
Oh my God.
I did not win the
What?
bid.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
All right, well, I'm going to go and eat then because Debbie
Well,
gave me
go
a little
ahead.
bit, only a little
All
bit
right,
of
well-
Chinese food for dinner like 3 hours ago.
Well,
Yeah,
tell
and
everyone I
Anthony,
said
when you
hello,
go to-
please.
Yeah, when you go to Motor City, the Motor City Comic Con, like make sure you're up to date on your Kiss albums. Like Billy.
Yeah, I think you should too, bud.
I'll do my best. I'll be doing my research.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, all right, guys.
All
Thank
right.
you so much for having me on tonight. I really appreciate it.
Dude, you're awesome.
You're awesome.
Are you
You're
going?
all awesome. We're all awesome.
TJ, are you going?
TJ's going.
Is he going?
Yeah, he's going to, dude, he went to ScotchCon last year, didn't he?
He always goes to ScotchCon.
Yeah.
Typically.
ScotchCon.
ScotchCon's it's Saturday night, man, of the show where we all drink
What, at
scotch, smoke
Baltimore?
cigars. Baltimore,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Might try to have a little mini ScotchCon at New York Comic Con. Let me see what I could swing.
See what you can
ScotchCon
swing together.
sounds wonderful.
Swing it.
What do you like to drink? What's your go-to?
My favorite's Lagavulin, 15. But I've been drinking the Oban.
Oban is where it's at, buddy.
Bro, it is.
Yes.
Man, it's like
I've been saying.
So I even switched down to the Oban in the Bombay cast or whatever, but it's still like $74 a bottle.
You gotta go all the way, man. You gotta get the good one.
Just mix some grain alcohol with iced tea, and it looks like it.
Yeah.
You know, kind of sneaker collection I could have.
Oban is wonderful.
Damn scotch.
Yeah.
Dude, I've never drank a day in my life, but I'm going to drink at ScotchCon. That's going to be my first time ever.
Hell no. I won't. No.
It's going to be crazy.
No, it's going to be out of control. He's going to be like, this is so good. And we're like, oh my gosh, Blevins. He's just going to just grab women, making out with random women and starting fights.
I'm going to get drunk off smelling it.
He's going to be like, where's that Starfire cosplayer?
Get yourself pour yourself maybe.
Hey, why you got to bring Gina into this, bro?
Get it in there. So
I love you. I love you guys so much. All right, Anthony. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Billy, thanks for popping in.
Billy,
sorry about that. Mr. Blevins, as always, it's a pleasure. Everyone have a great night, and we will see you all Thursday. We're hosting a Kickstarter launch. And then after that, we're going to be hanging out with
Billy,
Patrick Thomas Parnell.
Oh, perfect, man.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Anthony, you rock, bro. I will see you at the New York Comic Con.
Peace.
Thank you, man. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Peace.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on Pop XP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the Pop XP and over on Instagram at the Pop XP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.